All right, we want to welcome Dr. Jerry and his wife Tammy Duggar to this Facebook Live today. They are both going to be participating at the conference. You want to kind of tell us what you guys are both going to be doing and talking about?
Sure, I'll go first. Hi, everybody. Good to be with you on Facebook today, and good to be with. We're just excited. We've been friends for a long time and kind of run in the same circles and done a lot of training together. And now we get to be part of this cool event that you guys are putting on. So my name is Dr. Jerry Duggar. I'm a chiropractor and functional medicine specialist. I've been in practice for about 23 years now in Bountiful.
Yeah, you came in right after me, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. So we've got a few years under our belt at this point. So I've presented on lots of different things, but one of my favorite things to teach about is gut health and the function of the microbiome and how that impacts really all the other systems of the body. And so we thought that would be fun to talk about that and train on that a little bit. We'll talk about the brain and how the gut affects hormones and, really how it affects really every aspect of our health. So that'll be a fun deep dive, I think.
And you're going to talk a little bit about like the diseases as well, right? Like the colitis, those kinds of things.
Yeah. So we want to talk about
those are things that people don't, they go to the medical doctor and they just get that, oh, well, you have colitis. There's nothing we can do about it, but take this pill.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not even that specific. It's you have IBS, this syndrome of irritable bowel, and we don't really know what to do about it.
Right.
And so we specialize in really helping people understand what's at the root of those issues, and getting into what type of testing is appropriate to do, what really moves the needle in helping people heal. So diet and lifestyle are a big piece of this, as well as appropriate use of herbs and nutrients. And, on the rare occasion, we need a drug, but we try to steer everybody towards a more natural approach, because usually it's lifestyle, diet, things that are driving the condition. And so we don't want to mask it with a medication if we need to get a little deeper. And that's really what allows Tammy to shine, is because she's an amazing nutrition coach and health coach. So she's a big part of helping our clients get well.
So Tammy, you are going to be doing one of the food demonstrations. You want to kind of talk about that and what you're going to be able to share?
Yeah, so I'm really excited. One of my favorite things to do is teach people about food, because sometimes that feels like a daunting thing to people, especially if they're not used to preparing their own food and they've just been eating things out of packages. So my topic that I'm going to demonstrate on is delicious treats for healthy skin.
Nice.
And just so that we know that what we put on our inside is a reflection of what our outside looks like.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And if people don't realize that, they don't realize that like the skin conditions are usually an internal issue.
Yes. And then that kind of ties in with what Dr. Jerry's teaching about. The gut health affects how our skin looks as well. So I'm going to share a demo, of course, on some healthy treats that will be good for our skin, but I'm going to also share some tips on foods to avoid that create yucky looking skin and aren't good for our skin. And so that's just my plan, to do a fun demo where people can see how easy it is. And maybe.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's, if you just ask people, what can you do to be healthy? Right? They all say the same things, right? There's like a list of 5 things: eat healthier, do this. But the problem is time, right? And in order to eat healthy, you have to take time. You can't just come home and need to eat in 5 minutes, because then you're going to grab something out of a box or out of the bag or whatever, right? It does take time. And that's the hardest thing for people when they start doing this kind of a lifestyle change, is they have to prepare, they have to plan, and they have to, and good things. But like with Liz, she's able to just put things together. She just has a knack of putting things together and they taste good,
Yeah,
most
kitchen
people
ninja,
don't have that.
Right. And
So-
that comes with practice and
Yeah.
time. And I think that the time issue is really just a prioritizing issue.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say that, you know what, you're already making the food anyways. Why not just swap it out with some different ingredients? That's
Right.
all you have to do. And, you know, one thing that I want people to understand, the importance of what you eat really affects what's going on in your body too. Like my daughter, she was starting to get eczema, and you know, what would people normally do? Run to the doctors, get some steroid cream, right?
Some kind of cream.
But that is like a cycle that happens with people. So of course we go a totally different approach.
For sure.
And I started giving her fermented vegetables
Mhm.
to be able to heal her gut.
Yeah,
And the eczema went away on
Right.
its own. His body was able to do what it needed to do on its own. And so with you, Tammy, being able to, well, first of all, Dr. Jerry here, Duggar, you are able to help so many different people, show them a different path of how to become healthier
Mhm.
with these different diseases that they have. And Tammy, you're able to show them the foods that they're able to eat and how these foods can help them on these different diseases that they're experiencing, or, you know, different issues,
Yeah.
their health problems that they're having.
We like to think that, you know, so my job as the functional physician is to evaluate people's 7 key systems of their body: their nervous system, their digestive system, their detoxification system, their immune system, their cardiovascular system, their hormonal system, and their structural system. So that's my job: evaluate what's happening in those key systems, find out where the problems are. So that's lab testing, or, you know, even just a good history, you know, just being a good doctor and understanding what's happening there. Once we've identified what's happening, we have to help them make a lifestyle change. And so we kind of talked about, in our world, we call them the simple 7 lifestyle habits. We wrote a book on this. We'll share at our booth at the event, called The Simple 7 Lifestyle. That's the name of our podcast. You know, and nutrition is obviously a big pillar. So we talk about eat well, move well, sleep well, breathe well, think well, love well, and play well. It's hard to remember which
I know.
different order every time. But, you know, some of these are kind of more on the mental, psychological, emotional side, like our relationships, our outlook on life, you know, and our ability to step away from the stress and play and enjoy and kind of create that energy. And the other 4 are probably things that most people would think about: exercise and diet. But we also throw in things like sleep and breath work, and because most people don't think about those, they'll happily, you know, shave off 45 minutes of their sleep so that they can work out. Well, that may be robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it may not be a good idea. So back to what you said, we kind of have to have a balance.
Mhm.
And that balance is hard unless you've got some coaching and you kind of know where your weak points are. And so that's really what we do with our clients. And so we'll have a fun time talking about specific things about gut and microbiome and how that affects inflammation and hormones and skin. And then they'll go hang out with Tammy and learn how to apply a few things on her demo. So it should be a fun weekend.
Yeah. No, and we really appreciate you guys being on board, because there's nothing better than having the coolest thing about doing this whole conference is the speakers and those who are wanting to be involved, the vendors, all this, because they all have a message and they're so willing to share that message and to give of that message to people, because we know that what we do works. We've seen it in patients' lives. Now, everything we do is the cure all for everything? No, nothing ever is, right? But we know we have a lot of tools in our toolbox. And the cool thing about the conference is that maybe this guy doesn't do it, but that guy over there does, or we can learn from it. That's why we have so many speakers and so many different things. Like you were talking about breath work. We have someone doing an interactive class on breath work.
Perfect.
You know, people don't even think about that, how to breathe, right?
Yeah. So these events are always really great. The danger, if I can be so bold as to say, is that sometimes people show up and they're just kind of gonna sample everything from the salad bar. You know, they're just gonna go listen to this and listen to this. And I would just say, for those of you who are listening that are coming, have some focus about what questions you have, what problems you're trying to find answers to, and be really intentional about getting answers to those things, so that you don't come away from this experience with more confusion and more information. You actually come away with an answer. So,
well, it's kind of funny because that is so, what you just said is so poignant. It is so perfect, because go with intent. And because of that, your mind will be open and you'll be drawn, right? Because that's the energy you're trying to find. You'll be drawn to where you need to go and who you need to talk to be able to get some of those answers. And that's truly who we want. People, we want the people who are looking for, who are having questions and looking for things to be coming to the conference. That's the whole purpose of it. That's why we created this, because we wanted people to have an outlet that they can go and say, you know what, I don't want to go spend $500 at this doctor and $500 here and $500. Let me have a chance to kind of figure it out. Then if I need to go there, I can, but now I have a better understanding.
Yeah.
In a natural healing sort of situation, you need to know, like, and trust your provider and the person that you're listening to. So these are perfect opportunities to
for sure
kind of rub shoulders and get acquainted and hear people. And, you know, Tammy and I both have had experiences, I'm sure you have as well, where, you know, something that we say really resonates with a person who's listening, and that becomes a catalyst for a complete life change. And I've had many testimonials of people who've basically told me they were ready to check out. They were ready to commit suicide and be done with life, until they got inspired to do something different, listening to me and then working with us. And that's so gratifying, you know. So we show up with that sort of energy. We already know all the information. It's not for us. We show up because we absolutely know that there will be people that come to this conference whose lives will be saved, and whose health will be saved, and
who are struggling, who are looking and praying for answers. For some, in fact, just kind of funny. I just had a text, and they might be listening again. Just had a text. We just finished another live a couple minutes ago, and she just said, "You know what he said was just an answer to my prayer right now." Sweet, you know. Good. You know, that's in our mind, that's how God answers prayers, is through other people. Sure. A lot of times, right? And so that's why we do what we do.
So you guys, do you guys have something that is a tip or a health tip or something you guys just want to share that people can take away from this live today?
Oh boy. It's like,
he already did. He gave you 7 things that he's doing.
So yeah, honestly, I would honestly tell people, and this little self-promotion here, but that's what it was all about, I guess. Go to duggarwellness.com. We have just written a great book. It's, you know, it's simple to and easy to read. It's, you know, 100 pages. They can get through it. It's very applicable information. It's called The Simple 7 Lifestyle, and we're basically giving it away at the cost of shipping. So that's one thing. Just go to our website. There's a little button to click, takes you can see what's in the book. And that would be a really great thing for people if they are interested in learning about what we do. Easy way to do it. Maybe even easier though would be to go to your favorite podcast player and look up Simple 7 Lifestyle Podcast. We're just newbies at this. We've got like 8 episodes under our belt. We're having a ton of fun doing it, and we're covering all of our 7 pillars at the beginning. So,
well, you got to start somewhere.
I think we're about 44.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So the podcasting thing's a blast, but it takes a while to get enough episodes out there. But people who are listening, just go to Simple 7 Lifestyle Podcast on Apple or anyone, and listen to us and see if you resonate with our message.
Because those habits that we do every day create or take away our health.
Yep.
That's so true.
That's a true point right there. What you said, that's the health tip, is the habits that you do, either do one or the other, right?
Right.
It'll move you forward or backwards. And in this particular thing, are we talking health, right?
Yes.
It's the same kind of thing. So
Shane, you and I are both chiropractors, and way back in the beginning of chiropractic, they talked about something called positive survival value and negative survival value. So we've been saying this since 1895,
right?
Like the things that we do either contribute to our health, or they don't, or they detract from it. And we just need to know, how are we doing right now and where can I improve 10% and just gradually tweak this lifestyle until it's where you want it to be.
All right. So your guys' code for all of your followers is Duggar30. You see it kind of on the bottom of the screen, and you can go visit BeHealthyUtah.com. And when you purchase your tickets for the 2-day live, if you put that in, you can get into the 2-day conference for only $30. So it's an amazing value to be able to come and listen to you guys and be able to, hear Dr. Duggar, and then also be able to see Tammy at work doing her food demonstrations, and they can come and visit you at your booth, and
everybody else will be there.
Yeah.
So.
So
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Hey, thanks so much for being involved. We appreciate what you're doing to try to help people in the natural world. So thanks so much. And we'll be seeing you next week.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
let's see.